APC Yoruba terrorist supporters. Can you people tell me why our dear President Bola Tinubu they avoid the United States of America? It's a very
Hello, what's up guys? In this video, something very shocking has just been exposed. Nigerians are now asking if President Tinubu is really scared of Donald Trump and why he has been dodging the United Nations General Assembly not once but twice. Normally, that meeting is where world leaders gather, debate global issues and make powerful connections, but instead of attending, Tinubu sent Vice President Kashim Shettima to represent Nigeria, and this is not the first time. It happened last year too. Now, here is the big twist. Professor Bola Akinyemi, former DG of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, revealed on Channels TV that Tinubu may have stayed away just to avoid possible embarrassment from Donald Trump. According to him, Donald Trump is unpredictable, the kind of president who can disgrace another leader in public without even thinking twice. He acts first, reasons later, and that is the danger Tinubu may have been trying to avoid. But Nigerians are asking serious questions. If Tinubu keep dodging Donald Trump, does that mean Nigeria will continue missing out on these crucial global meetings? Remember, this is where presidents get to meet face to face with world leaders like the US, France, and others, building relationships that can bring real benefit back home. Some argue that if Tinubu has nothing to hide, no scandals, no drug cases, no questions about his past, then why keep avoiding Trump? Why not face him boldly like Mugabe of Zimbabwe once did and defend Nigeria's image on the world stage? Others fear that by avoiding Trump, Nigeria itself is the one losing out, because whether Tinubu attends or not, Trump and America still hold powerful cards, from sanctions to global influence to economic pressure. So the big question now, is Tinubu protecting himself or is he putting Nigeria's interests at risk? And how long can he really keep running from Trump? Guys, I will let you watch this video for yourself so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. Take a look guys, and remember to share your thoughts after watching.
APC Yoruba terrorist supporters. Can you people tell me why our dear President Bola Tinubu they avoid the United States of America? It's a very harmless question. And of course, I always come in peace. I feel sorry that our president has been able to travel far and wide across the breadth and length of the world, but I've chosen not to be able to go to the United States of America. Once again, you can see that Vice President Shettima to lead Nigeria's delegation to the United Nations General Assembly in New York. I've never seen any president in the history of Nigeria that is afraid of going to the United States. Now, I'm not saying Tinubu is afraid. I said I've never seen any president in the history of Nigeria that is afraid to go to the United States. So APC supporters, can you guys just give me a clue? Tell me what's happening. What's happening? Why is our president not going to the United States? Of course, we cannot agree that Tinubu is a very good traveler. In his last 17 months in office, Tinubu has made 29 foreign trips to 16 countries. He has been very, 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 very passionate traveler. Not until America was made mention of. And I feel sorry, So Tinubu travels from Nigeria to France just to charge his phone. Now, he has been scheduled to speak on climate change in an all-important event in United Nations General Assembly in America, and all of a sudden, Tinubu developed phobia for aircraft. Well, I knew that Nigeria has entered a very deep mess. The very day I heard that CIA has declared Tinubu a CIA asset. Tinubu is always ready to, go public, with our resources, he's always, but the very moment you mention America, Tinubu could just develop phobia for traveling. But I feel sorry anyway. I hope APC people can just tell me what's happening. I come in peace, as I said.
As petty as this is, but I'm just concerned. Why is Bola Tinubu scared of going to the United States of America? Why? Like I said, it's petty. It doesn't show that there is economic prosperity. It doesn't mean that going to the United States of America or attending the United Nations General Assembly means that your country is going to transform. But why are you running for 2 years in a row consecutively? Bola Tinubu likes to travel by himself, that likes photo ops and all of this paparazzi, that likes to be told goodbye and told welcome, has refused to attend the UN General Assembly. So in 2024, sometime around this time, Bola Tinubu sent his VP, Kashim Shettima, to the 79th United Nations General Assembly in New York. And people felt, okay, this complaint of plane B-40, they said they reversed by somewhere, and that was where all of the balls of new aircraft started and all of that, blah, blah, blah. Shettima went. Now, this is 2025. Shettima has again gone to represent Bola Tinubu in the United Nations General Assembly. Tinubu, come closer, talk to me. Why did they run from US? What is there? You that can go to St. Lucia without any correlation, you go there, you go Brazil, you are going everywhere you go to. Bola Tinubu like visit Benin Republic with all of the pomp and pageantry and paparazzi of being, because he enjoys it. What I see him do, what I see in Bola Tinubu is somebody that likes the panache, the flow, the effigy that comes with presidency. Not because he really can't change things. So it's something that he has wished for. And of course, maybe because of the way Passenger also treated him, he wanted to also prove that I can also be president. And then he got it. Why are you not running from hunger? Why are you running 79th, you know, go? And I can trust that you're not going to the 81st, neither are you going to, of course, you will not be president when the 82nd, by the grace of God, you will not be president when the 82nd will be held. But why are you running from the US? Is there something you need to talk to us? You want to confess to Nigerians? As much as, again, like I said, it's petty, as much as this doesn't mean that it is countries that go, but you have a chance to approve. You that has almost relegated your president to the backdrop, sent him on condolence visits. Why are you sending him to the United Nations General Assembly? Is there something you should be worried about? No, minus the drug issue. Of course, that is established. There's something else. You also do fraud journal. Are there issues that you know, say your fingerprint in the US will produce? Is there something to be worried about? Why have you banned US? Or it's peculiar because it is Trump here? Because as terrible as Muhammadu Buhari was, he went to the US. He met with the US president, he met with Joe Biden, he met with Donald Trump, at least in his first term. So why is Tinubu running from the US? So as it were now, it means that we may have to elect a Nigerian president 2027 that can go to the US. See, prayer point. Again, like I said, it's petty. But on a very serious note, why are you visiting countries? I think this is one of the most important times where Nigerian president should be going to hunger. For example, we'll be asking for a permanent seat in the Security Council of the US because as giants of Africa, okay, because of the belief and passion of Nigeria, I'll call that, even though it doesn't show like we are still giants of Africa, we should have influence. We're asking for more seats, we're asking for more influence in the nations, we're asking for more collaborations. And like Shettima said, no more AIDS, even though Bola Tinubu still believe in aids and loans and grants. No more aids, but partnership and support. I believe so much in that. Africa is too rich a continent, too valuable a people, too worthy a place for us to be living on aid and grants from all of these places. We'll be building partnership that would prosper Africa, that would put Africa where it belongs. Unfortunately, with countries like Nigeria sitting down, lying down, if that is it, and begging small countries to come and going to meet France that Burkina Faso is pursuing, Senegal is saying we are done. That's all of that. By the way, so you should have been in the US pushing for all of this. I don't know why you are sending Shettima. So your hand not clean, Abi, and you can't become Nigerian president. You see why these things bother me. These guys know. So when we are on social media shouting, some idiot at the comment section defending, but these guys know the truth. So your hands not clean. Why did you not? So in Nigeria, not be dustbin. Oh, your hands not clean, abroad. You can't live bad life. You are president when your hands not clean. When you have committed crimes, then they call you criminal. You divest. Now using DSS to fight everybody. Why you know the thing they go US? Why? Which record you get for there? I told and say the thing don't pass now several years ago. Not mean why you know the thing? Tinubu, why you know in the US? Why you always change the team and we be saying a condolence VP na be? We know we're try. This is the last time we elect a Nigerian president that has criminal records. But this is embarrassing. You expect countries to take us serious. You expect us to do business with world countries. And we expect us to be respected around the world. All of you that supported this nonsense, God will judge you.
Hello, great people. They don't expose Amo. They don't expose why President Bola Tinubu sit down for Nigeria, sent Vice President Kashim Shettima to United States to represent the country at the United Nations General Assembly, popularly called UNGA. You know, say for that kind of meeting, all the presidents all over the world, they go sit down, they go begin the talk, begin the debate, how the world could take better. So president, no, they too send their advice, except say something important they happen. But for this year, President Bola Tinubu sent Shettima. Last year too, he sent Kashim Shettima. Now, in one Professor Bola Akinyemi, who is the former Director General of Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, as he appeared on Channels TV, now in review say President Bola Tinubu avoid the US just so say Trump no go embarrass him. May we go watch the video, then we come back for some discussion. Let's watch it.
There are those who query the absence of Mr. President at such a high-level meeting of world leaders. They argue that perhaps this would have been his second meeting at the assembly. They argue that perhaps if he was on ground, he could have emphasized those meetings, the need for a place for his seat for Nigeria at the UN Security Council. They argue that as well. Perhaps we would have seen him engage more with the big boys, the Donald Trumps of US, the Emmanuel Macron of France, and all the world leaders, compared to what the vice president, with all due respect to him, and some of the meetings he has had to hold in the last 2 days. I wonder how you respond to that, Prof.
You see, I quite agree with your analytical approach to it, in the sense that in international protocol, in international relations, in international law and relations, at those 3 levels, you see, water must always find its own level. That's what we have been taught in chemistry, ordinary level chemistry. Water will find its own level. When you are not a president of a sovereign state, the extent to which you can meet with the sovereign leaders, no, you must go, operate at a particular level. In diplomacy, when you go to any reception, for instance, you cannot have a third secretary going to sit or discuss with a minister counselor. You don't do that one. When you are a counselor, you try to find your comrade, your level. So in this case, a vice president going there cannot easily interact with the people who are senior to him. So at that level, I agree with you. But when you look at the other aspect, why is our own Bola Tinubu not going? It may be a strategy itself. One, at the level of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is an unpredictable president. Donald Trump thinks after action. He thinks after action. But he does not think well before action. He's a president that can thoroughly embarrass our own president, find unnecessary excuses for whatever. Because Nigeria appears to be towing a sort of an independentist, line when it comes to the conduct and management of international affairs. Donald Trump doesn't like this. Donald Trump wants to be seen as the primus inter pares in international relations. So in this case, this is the second time our president will not be attending. But what does that mean, really? What is it that is in his head for not going? The ideal thing would have been to be there, okay.
Oh dear.
Prof, yes.
Yeah.
Prof, always a delight to listen to Prof do this analysis. Always a delight to. All right.
And just to imagine what Nigeria... Is Prof back?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, Prof. I just conclude on your submission so we can squeeze in more questions, please.
Okay. Yes, I'm trying to say that at the end of the day, when you are seen to be at par with your colleagues, if he is there, in which way are you going to say that Donald Trump is better than Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria? He's not. And I can tell you that Ahmed Tinubu is as intelligent, if not more intelligent than Donald Trump. He's more cautious.
There you have it. Tinubu, they avoid to meet Trump to avoid embarrassment? Well, I will say that it is better to be cautious than to be disgraced. It better if you know say you know match Trump energy. If you know say you get something for your cupboard, you get one corner or one kurukere where Trump fit use against you, it better make you avoid the guy so that he no go disgrace you. You know say Trump, I agree with the professor that Trump he go first act before he reason. Now when he act finish, he go come reason say, well, this thing where I do, sure it good or be bad, but that time the deed has been done. So it is good for Bola Tinubu to jejely avoid the United States, which is better to be cautious than to be disgraced. If you don't know, sir, this person, if he pours aside for your gari, it better make you hibernate from that particular person. But then again, may we look at with another eye. Nigeria cannot keep suffering as a result of whatever baggage or whatever issue that you have with Donald Trump, in the sense that it is not only Trump that will be at that meeting. World leaders, global leaders will be at that meeting, and there's a limit to what the Vice President Kashim Shettima can do at that particular meeting. So Nigeria cannot keep suffering just because you have one baggage or one issue with Trump, or you are trying as a person to save yourself from embarrassment at such a global gathering of leaders. Definitely Nigeria, being the capital of the black race, the most populous black nation on earth, has a lot to offer on a global stage, and that is where you can easily meet your fellow colleagues, your fellow leaders across the world. It is at the United Nations General Assembly that you can have, you know, some cheap access to your colleagues. In terms of that is where you can easily meet them on the sidelines. But it saves you money, because rather than going to their country, or rather than for them to come to your country, you can just meet them for a 5-10 minutes discussion, and you guys can see whatever you want to see, or hand it over to your aides. You will hand it over to your aides in Nigeria. The president of that country will hand it over to its aides as well. So that saves both countries, you know, the money of booking an appointment or you doing state visit later on. So the big question now on my mind is that Bola Tinubu, if you are avoiding the US because of Donald Trump, how long will Nigeria continue to suffer? So that means that if you spend 8 years in office, let's assume now, if you spend 8 years in office, it means that throughout the lifetime of your administration, throughout the life of your administration, Nigeria will not be represented at the UNGA, right? Is that what it means? No, we can't continue like that. Donald Trump is in his first year. Definitely he would finish in 3 years time, and Bola Tinubu. So does that mean that you will still miss 3 United Nations General Assembly meetings just because you are avoiding Donald Trump? And what will happen if Trump is able to install a successor, somebody that is like him, like a mini him? Is it that you will now keep avoiding the United Nations General Assembly? That is why it should be of concern to any Nigerians. And what I can say is that, Mr. President, with profound respect, the truth is you can only run, but you can't hide. If Trump won't get you, his hand will touch you. If Trump is truly after you, if Trump truly wants to get to you, his hands will touch you anywhere you are if he desires to. He has a lot of angle that he can use. He can use economic sanctions. You know, in fact, the US Congress has ordered Donald Trump to impose criminal sanctions on Nigeria based on the persecution of Christians allegedly in Nigeria. I have a video on that. Do well to check my video catalog. And at the end of the day, what is in all this for Nigeria? Because you can run, but you can't hide. The drug issue is still there. The Chicago, whether you graduate or not, school there or not, whether you are a male or female, that one is still there as well. And all these things are within the jurisdiction of the US President Donald Trump. So the big question is, how far can you run and how far can you hide? The US government, their hand will touch you if they want to. So why hide from Trump if you have no baggage? Let us look at this thing from another perspective. Why do you want to hide from Trump, as asserted by Professor Bola Akinyemi, if you have no baggage, if you know that you truly graduated, if you know that you have no scandal, you know that, oh, the drug something, you are not guilty or anything like that, why are you avoiding him? Trump is a fellow president like you, although the US may be greater than Nigeria, but then if Trump gives you, if you are courageous enough to give him back, you remember is it Robert Mugabe, the former president of Zimbabwe, that if the world leaders, if they speak anyhow, he used to give them very hot, and that was what made the president of the African nation to be popular before he died. So if you have no baggage, then you should be courageous to face your fellow colleague and to be able to negotiate good and sweet deals for the people of Nigeria. Nigeria did not employ you to sit down in Aso Rock and eat. No, being the president is a job, and you have to focus on that job to make sure that you facilitate sweet deals for Nigeria, to make sure that you market and advertise Nigeria, and you leave Nigeria the best way possible. And that is what Bola Tinubu should be doing. But if you are avoiding the meeting with world leaders just because you don't want to be embarrassed, then it is the country that will be suffering for it. So for me, I think that there's more to be desired in that regard. And apparently, looking at things, Trump may still eventually deal with Bola Tinubu. Why do I say so? China is a country that is not an ally of the United States. They are in some kind of like what we can call subtle competition, right? And when China is in competition with the United States, that is when you know that you want to adopt Chinese language in Nigerian schools and say that, oh, Chinese language should be included in Nigerian curriculum. That shows that your government is tilting towards China. Your government wants to give China more leverage, more opportunity in your country, and that itself will lead to sanctions or issues with the United States government. Another thing is that Nigeria has supported the two-state solution, which is the issue of Israel and Palestine. Nigeria supported the two-state solution, which the government of the United States has opposed. So looking at that from the Chinese language perspective and from the two-state solution that Nigeria is supporting and the US is against, apparently, if Tinubu is not careful, Trump and will still touch him in any way or manner whatsoever. The thing is, if he can be able to find a middle ground, satisfy US small, satisfy China small, especially if he knows that he has a baggage. But if he is going the way he's going, Trump, and whether he likes it or not, will still reach him. The lesson therein is for Nigerians to open their eyes and to make sure that we elect leaders that can truly represent us and that can fight for us. It's been an interesting time with you. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past videos. See you in my next video. I love you all sincerely.